Hey there! So I received a plea for help from a viewer just a couple weeks ago. Jo asked me to help him with his vowels. Now he's moving from singing contemporary music to classical music and was a bit stumped on what to do to find that authentic classical sound. And I thought we could all benefit from diving into vowels over the next few lessons. So whether you're singing contemporary music or classical music, you will benefit from this focus. So today I'm going to give you just a general overview of why vowels are so important, plus 7 exercises to start working on until the next lesson. So over the next few videos, we will dive into each primary vowel, giving you strategies and pointing out vowel pitfalls. Okay, so that's what's going on for the next few weeks. So before we start, I wanted to let you know about a video I made that's not on YouTube. In one 30-minute video, I give you 10 high note hacks, right? So you can sing your high notes with more confidence and ease. The video is free, and I will put the link below so that you can access it and start singing those high notes. All right, so let's first lay the foundation for understanding the importance of vowels. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I've asked you to warm up on your vowels. Practice your songs on vowels because vowels carry our sound. Whether you are singing contemporary or classical music, how you choose or how you don't choose to create your vowel space will determine a great deal about how you sound. As you sing, you're shaping your acoustical space and you're affecting your resonance. This becomes your sound. So think of impersonators. So what they're doing is they're manipulating their vowels and consonants in a way that we end up hearing Elvis Presley, Cher, Prince, Adele, etc. And think about accents. When we study a foreign language, oftentimes our native tongue, so for me, American English, peeks through when we speak another language, let's say French or Spanish or Italian. This is because we are creating our vowels and consonants just a little bit differently than a native speaker. Now, to remedy this, in my undergraduate and in my master's study, every semester we were required to study diction of foreign languages. We had lots of books like this every semester, and we would have very focused classes. And what we would do was we would learn how to shape those vowels and consonants to have the least amount of accent or regionalisms, right? So my father's family, they're from Minnesota, and I noticed, and his parents spoke Norwegian fluently. So we've got some of these closed O's that kind of show up in my speaking. That's a regionalism, and we all have them. But what we do is we studied to see if we could get rid of those as much as possible when singing in other languages and even in English. So we know what words we want to say or sing, but how we shape them creates our sound. So I often get new clients that say, Trisha, help me find my sound. Now this is one of the best questions that a singer can ask. And what really happens is we dive in, and it involves a lot about how we're creating that vowel shape, many other things as well, but vowel shape is primary. So how do I help them find their voice? One of the first steps, as a teacher, I observe their speaking voice. At the core of this sound is the essence of who they are. Even if that speaking voice is surrounded by tension or breathiness or a little bit of push, I can still usually get a glimpse of what their balanced voice is and how that voice wants to function. Now, of course, there will always be exceptions, right, to this idea. But for me, this has been a good general guide in the process. So when you think of vowels, think of how am I shaping my vowels when I speak? Like, what does that feel like, right? So this speaking foundation will adjust a bit in the upper and the lower range, but there still is a similarity or a continuity throughout the sound that is you. You see, I want you to sound like you when you sing. And this applies to classical music, contemporary music. You know, whether you sing jazz or pop or gospel or art song or oratorio or opera, I want you at the core. Now for me, this hits home. quite deeply. Different teachers across my training heard my voice differently, and some teachers tried to make my voice bigger than it needed to be. And they did this in a way by teaching me to create the space, the vowel shape, my acoustic space, in a certain way that was just too big, too much, and also using a little bit too much breath. Now, as a young singer who craved to have a big voice, to fill a big hall, I went eagerly right along with them. But over time, what happened was that my vocal mechanism, it just was not happy. So a side effect, because it was not happy, was the vibrato got too big. My voice lost clarity. The diction suffered, and the core of my sound was hidden, and it just became harder and harder for me to sing. So then I started working with a teacher who noticed how different my singing voice was from my speaking voice, right? There were just affects that were happening in my singing. So he got curious, and together we started to just unweave some of the unsupportive habits around how I was shaping my vowels when I was singing, right? So this intense work brought me back to who I was at the core of my sound. Light, bright, energetic, fast-moving, and expressive. That was more me. So while I can make a big sound like an impersonator, it was not my sound or how my body wanted to optimally function for the long term. It just wasn't sustainable for me and my voice. And since I want to sing till I'm 110 years old, I needed to figure out that long game for me. So my voice became just more clear, right? And those little signs that it was not happy, right? They were the fatigue, the tongue tension, the wider vibrato, and the overall just working too hard while singing. And he helped me fix that. So I learned to embrace the essence of me, connected more naturally with my natural speaking voice, relearned how to feel the vowels in a much smaller way, because that's what I needed. I was just opening way too much. And I found a new balance in my voice that I could use across musical styles. No matter what type of music I was singing, I could find the core of me. Now, at the center of this concept is that my teacher let my body and my voice inform both of us about how it wanted to function, right? Do you hear that? And this is an important approach that I practice in my own teaching with my students and as I work on my voice as well. We let the body and the voice inform us of how it wants to function. This is a big deal, and this is a game changer for many of you that may be thinking you need to sound a particular way. Instead, this is a principle I want you to adopt, okay? How does the body and the voice want you to sing? And it will guide you. So here are 6 exercises to explore the speaking to singing voice and vice versa, knowing that this is just one step of many to find balance in your vowels. So first, observe your speaking voice. Do you feel that you are authentic in your speaking? Does it feel healthy? Is it comfortable for you to speak for long periods of time without fatigue? Is your voice clear? If so, then more than likely you are in a good place to start. Now, side note, sometimes the voice will make compensations for beliefs that may not serve us anymore. Let me get really clear on this. I'm going to make some exaggerations, okay? But you're going to understand what I'm going for. Sometimes some people may habitually speak lower in pitch than they should so they can be taken seriously. Some people may speak in a breathy voice because they were told you're too loud. Some people may push or drive their sound as someone told them at some point not to be weak or shy or to speak up. Some people may let vocal fry, chronically be in their speaking voice as a way to show that they're chilled out or relaxed. Now, these are big generalizations, right? But something to consider as you are exploring, being curious, and developing your voice. When you are observing your speaking voice, take your time and question how much is you and how much is someone else's belief being lived through you and your voice. Okay, so exercise number 2, let's do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in the last lesson when we warmed up together, I introduced you to this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lots of you loved it, and I'm so glad. And I want to explain to you a little bit of why it works and why it's so cool. So the oo in the numbers 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, we start with that little bit of an oo, and the 2, 2 sets us up nicely with a natural lift in the soft palate. It just does it automatically. The e vowel in the number 3, 3, 3, plus we got that nice right here, so a little action happening there in the articulators. E, 3, 3, 3 gives us a nice bright vowel in the e vowel. The F in the 4, right, gets that breath moving as well with that nice closed O, 4, and then with that 5, we also have got the it keeps that breath moving, and we open up to the ah vowel in the 5. So this, and because if you are an American English speaker, speaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you even speak English in any way, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can feel very comfortable, and you may be used to saying it, right? So as we're trying to figure out what's my speaking voice and my singing voice, getting this could be a nice bridge in finding that. So I have this little piano app. I'm not sitting at the piano today. So I've got this little piano app. It's free. So if you can find a free one, there's tons of them online. So I'm going to start at C4. Maybe we'll just start at C4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't go to singing land on me, okay? Don't be like 1, 2, 3. No, don't do that. Just say it, sing it on that pitch as you would say it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Act like somebody's in the room. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't overdo it. Find where that feels comfortable in your voice. And I'm picking pitches that are in my speaking range. I want you to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Nice. Now what I want you to do is I want you to just sustain it a little bit slower. After you've played around with that for a while, walking around the room, singing to yourself, feeling what that authentic place feels like for you within your speaking range, then you can sustain it a little bit. So do it quickly and then do it slow, because that'll help you with that segue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm feeling for is, how am I shaping that vowel, right? I'm not necessarily listening to it. Is it great? Is it perfect? Is it wonderful? I'm not doing that criteria. What I'm doing is, how am I shaping it? And as I'm doing it a little bit slower, the breath is moving. It's sustaining that pitch a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To me, this sounds like me and it feels comfortable. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm testing for. Remember, this doesn't have to be perfect, and don't get lost in confusion. Don't get, set back like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm doing it. Just play around and play with the speaking sound. Does this sound like you? Even a little bit. Then you're making progress, yeah? So now, some of you might think, oh my goodness, this sounds like musical theater. Then what I would say to that is I would ask you, are you driving a bit, trying to make a buzz in the nasal cavity? Perhaps you're overdoing the small vowel space. So it might be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's me manipulating a little bit, not really being in my speaking voice. So I need to make sure that I'm not trying to make a buzz happen or make a speaking voice happen, okay? Now, what if the sound is too woofy or too dark compared to your speaking voice? Then I would ask you, is the tongue depressing down a little bit? Are you trying to make too much space in the mouth? Is the vowel too big for you? Are you trying to be too loud? 1, 2, 3, right? You can just overdo a little bit more. Keep it very simple, okay? So now, exercise number 3. What if you said that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, a little slower and allowing that sustain? And we did that one, right? We coupled that into that last exercise. So what you can do is then you can play with it, moving around a little bit and even going a little bit higher. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can really slow it down when you feel like you're finding that speaky place, okay? Really slow it down, move up and down through the speaking range. Idea or exercise number 4 is you can take that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and add the melody. Remember, I'm using the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it's something that we say. It's something that feels really kind of like very vernacular for us. So then add the melody to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and you can add a melody, playing and improvising with your notes and within your speaking range and outside of that speaking range as well. All the while sensing how the sound wants to just be in that easy place, and it'll adjust as you go up. So if I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go up a fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not trying to make it, right? I'm letting it be a little bit more open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So idea or exercise number 5, let's play with random words. So grab any book, right? And you can intone some sentences. So what we're doing is we're just now creating this bridge from the numbers that feel very normal. And then I'm gonna grab Yeats. Okay, I have no idea what I'm gonna pick. Okay, so I'm just randomly picked. It's called My Descendants. Having inherited a vigorous mind from my old fathers, I must nourish dreams. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so now I'm going to say it. Having inherited a vigorous mind. Having inherited a vigorous mind. Having inherited a vigorous mind. Now let's go back to the piano. Having inherited a vigorous mind. 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 Still sounds like me, right? Having inherited a vigorous mind, and I'm keeping that idea of what's the shape as I'm speaking, as I'm working my way up the scale. You see that, how that works? And so you can play with any sentence, right? And what I'm doing by doing it, using it from a book that's kind of random to you, I'm keeping you out of singing land, right? I'm keeping you out of going, okay, I have to sing now. No, you just have to speak a little Yeats on a little bit of a sustained tone, right? There's a psychology behind that, right? So then I'll speed it up, playing with it, speaking pace a little slower. Having an invigorated mind, having an inherited vigorated mind, right? Easy, you can do this. So exercise or idea number 6, let's move this practice to your song. Okay, so after you've played with this and you're feeling the space of this speaking voice while sustained, let's move it into your song. Now, for example, I am working on a French song right now. Okay, and so I have the words that they are printed out. I also have the International Phonetic Alphabet underneath them, the IPA. So what I would first do with my song, whether it's in English, Italian, French, German, whatever it is I would speak it. Okay, finding where those words are in my mouth. Le bon Pierrot que la foule contemple. Le bon, I need to feel what that's like, so it feels more speechy like to me. Le bon Pierrot que la foule contemple. Don't criticize my French, because I'm learning too. Le bon Pierrot que la foule contemple. Contemple. Ayant fini les noces dans le camp. So I would get in the rhythm of what does that feel like in my speech? Then I would elongate it a little bit because what that's going to do is elongate the vowels. Le bon Pierrot, que la foule contemple, ayant fini les noces d'Arlequin. Le bon Pierrot, que la foule contemple. Still feeling the speech pace, but now the vowel is a little bit longer. Then, what I can do is I can go back to my piano, because we're doing stepwise in this. Le bon Pierrot, le bon Pierrot, le bon Pierrot que la foule contemple. Le bon Pierrot que la foule contemple. Le bon Pierrot, Pierrot, le bon Pierrot que la foule contemple. Okay? Feeling that up and down the range now. And then you can slow that down. Le bon Pierrot que la foule contemple. Yeah? See how that bridges all the way through. This is a great process to really explore how to apply that speaking, right? So then you can sustain that lyric out a little bit longer, really feeling the shape. This is just like what we did with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on one note, going up the scale, using that line on that note, and then playing around. I'm not overworking the mouth or the words. I'm feeling the space as I speak, just as I speak, as much as possible. Because oftentimes when we're singing in a different language, we tend to overdo. And we even do this in English as well. So finally, number 7, when doing this kind of research, this vowel kind of feeling the vowel, I like to listen to voices that are my voice type. Now I'm a coloratura soprano, right, in classical standards. And by doing this, what I can do is I can train my ear to the quality of the vowel that I am matched to, more matched to, based on my voice type. Now I'm not using this as a way to imitate the singer, but rather to hear the language. Kind of like when you take a foreign language class and you listen to the conversation recordings to train your ear to the sound of that language. So for me, I wouldn't listen to Renee Fleming or Leontine Price, right? For this research, I love those singers and I listen to them all the time, but not for this research would I listen to them, as they're not my voice type. I would listen to Beverly Sills, Natalie Dessay, or Kathleen Battle, right? So in a contemporary sense, I would listen to Alison Krauss, Ariana Grande, Celine Dion, Kristen Chenoweth, Kelly O'Hara. Okay, they're more my voice type. So ask your voice teacher, what singers are similar to your voice type? If you listen to Pavarotti in his interviews and then listen to him sing, there are similar qualities in both his speaking and his singing voice. Kind of cool. So if you are a lyric tenor wanting to train your ear to Italian, listening to Pavarotti sing might be a fun way to explore that research. So remember, this is just the beginning of connecting you to your clear, natural, authentic voice. The end game of singing is not to reduce it to the process of we sing how we speak. That's just too limited, right? But this is a way in so that you're not manufacturing a sound or making a sound or putting a sound on that isn't you. This is the first step in letting your body and your voice guide you to your singing voice. Okay, in the following lessons, we will begin learning how to create vowels that are slightly tweaked from our speaking voice, especially when we're singing high or in our low range. Okay, have fun this week. Play with these exercises. You don't have to do all of them. Pick one, play around, see how it goes, and I would love to hear how it goes. I've given you a lot today. Have fun with this, and until next time, rejoice in your voice. Bye-bye.